to good use in service of our peoples and in service of the larger common good. We have cultures of inveterate entrepreneurship, extraordinary startup ecosystems. Our leading firms are looking to make investments in both directions, American firms in India, Indian firms in America. And because of this, the United States and India are poised to lead in the clean energy transformation, to shore up and diversify global semiconductor supply chains and other critical goods, to lead the revolutions in artificial intelligence, in advanced computing, in biotechnology, and quantum. And if we get this right, what we will be able to deliver is not merely more growth and strength for the United States and India, but genuine solutions to the significant problems afflicting all of humanity. And I don't say that as some kind of high-minded, long-term goal. I mean it as an immediate, urgent enterprise that we have to be embarked upon and against which we can deliver on a very rapid basis. But it's a big challenge, so no pressure. There's, it's going to be just, a walk in the park for us. So with that, I really look forward to hearing from all of you about what we can do from our positions in government, in partnership with you, to empower, elevate, and, like I said, remove those barriers that are making your lives more difficult and fulfilling the ambitions that you all have to work together. And I'd ask that you be candid. Tell us what the biggest opportunities are. Tell us what the biggest obstacles are. And tell us the kind of direction and resources and effort you need from the governments at the leader level to be able to deliver on the promise of the partnership. Because if I can leave you with one message, it's that the whole thrust and purpose of ISET is about empowering and elevating the work of all of you, and it is about trying to get us out of the way to the maximum extent possible. And to the extent we are engaged, it is in service of reinforcing and supporting what is fundamentally an effort to be led by our innovators, our entrepreneurs, our educators, our students, and our peoples. That's the spirit that brought me to India today. That's the spirit that Ambassador Garcetti and our entire embassy team and our delegation here brings with us to the work that we are doing. And we are very grateful to you, and I'm especially grateful to Mr. Doval for the opportunity that we have had to put this together and to carry this forward. And I'm very much looking forward to engaging with all of you today. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Sullivan. And thanks to both the NSAs for really setting the tone so very strongly and giving so much of space to the businesses to work together. And that really makes us believe that both of you are in solutions business. So really finding solutions to any obstacles and problems that we keep raising. So thank you very much. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, may I now invite His Excellency, Mr. Eric Garcetti, the Ambassador of the United States, to give his address.
Thank you very much, Director General Banerjee. Thank you to you and the Confederation of Indian Industry for bringing us together so beautifully. I wish I weren't a speaker and I were a mirror so you could see yourselves today. We get the best view up here of really the potential, of the strength, of the diversity, and the brilliance that's reflected in this room today. But it is also reflected on this stage with a great organization that's brought us together and two national security advisors who maybe are unmatched in the world. I had the joy of seeing the brilliance of Jake Sullivan when Joe Biden was formulating a vision to lead America forward and to have our impact on the world once again be seen as a force for good. I saw the way he connects the domestic and the international, and we've been so lucky to have his mind be 50% of this brilliance today. And Ajit Doval, a village boy from Uttarakhand who now has not become only a national treasure but an international treasure, who has had the same vision to come together and say, what can we do to change the course of this century, to quote National Security Advisor Sullivan, to take us forward. We're not just here to do small things. We're here to do big things, do things that change the course of history, and for the United States and India to just maybe be the co-authors of this next phase that the world faces, its challenges, but also its opportunities. So, you know, the 6 most feared words for any speaker is, of course, you get to close the program. So here I am as the last speaker. But I am also honored to follow these 3 men and to see the work that you are all doing. Because I think it's clear that governments can't do this work alone. And the vision of ISET which is a great sounding name if you're into technology. But I always like translating it into very human terms because I know the humanity up here and the humanity out there. That essentially we have a decision and a crossroads to make. Will we have technology that connects people, technology that protects people, technology that can help heal people? Because at the end of the day, that's really what technology is about. I've heard our president speak about this and this moment where we have to win that future together. And we were just with the Prime Minister, and the first thing he brought up was also this connection between democratic values and technology. We have to humanize those fundamental questions. Will technology empower or will it oppress? Will technology help bring us together or keep us isolated or even worse, apart? Will technology help us become healthier or will technology be a force to make us less healthy? These are the fundamental questions, not just of ISET, but in many ways of our age today. And when I look at the foundation between the United States and India, it is so strong. It is so clear that Indians love Americans and Americans love Indians. We have a genuine and natural warmth, values that we share, and an experience where it's very personal, the people that we know and the work that we've done together. But let me just paint a picture of what some of that is. We look at biotechnology, and we think about the more than a decade of work of the U.S.-India Science and Technology Endowment Fund, who, for instance, brought Stanford University together with the Jaipur Foot Organization in Rajasthan to show a way that we could have a multi-centric prosthetic knee that costs under $100 and is already improving the lives of people in 28 countries. When you think about U.S. aid here, working together with the Prime Minister's goal to eradicate tuberculosis by 2025, and using artificial intelligence not to write speeches, and I can guarantee you this speech was not written by artificial intelligence today, but to detect tuberculosis by coughing into your phone, and the algorithms can detect from that cough whether potentially you have tuberculosis. When I look at the digital payments and financial tech, that India has leapfrogged the world to take the Tiwala who is in a village and now she gets a payment from a phone, make sure that she gets direct payments from the government, 100% of each one of those rupees. Or our National Renewable Energy Laboratory that was just here talking to states and local governments about the way we can use supercomputer power to run the simulations we need to make sure we can have 100% carbon-free power that is reliable and affordable. This is what this is about. Not just categories of work, but technology that protects, technology that connects, and technology that heals. You see, technology without values is meaningless. And values without technology is powerless. What ISET is doing is bringing those two things together. I recently had a dinner with a bunch of multi-faith leaders here in India. We had Hindu and Sikh and Jain and Muslim and Christian leaders, Buddhist leaders. And one of them said, we hear all this talk about 4G and 5G, even 6G. But they said, here in India, we have something even more powerful than that, Guruji. And so underneath that, there actually was a comment that when we bring our values to this work and our intelligence to this work, we are an unstoppable force for good in our countries, for good in our world. So let's seize that model, let's reach beyond our grasp, and let's make ISET a reality. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ambassador. Thanks for that, those excellent words. And really, we look forward to working and engaging with you very deeply from the Indian industry. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that sets us for some comments from the floor. We have had very strong, enthusiastic participation, as I mentioned, in the afternoon. But, you know, now the trick now is there is a time limit set for each speaker, and that's 2 minutes. And you will see the clocks ticking on the screen as you speak. But we'll try and cover all the 7 sectors that we talked about. And we have some of the best minds over here present to really capture those thoughts in the next few minutes. So I will come to each one of you. There is a table mic, so please use that, and please look at the clock as you speak So I'll start with Ambassador Arun Singh, our former ambassador to the US, and for you to cover the ISET in general. You just tap it, it's working. Yeah, hopefully, no, is it? Mic up there, please. Shalinder, why don't we give that mic? Yeah.
Thank you. I want to begin by congratulating the two national security advisors for bringing the cooperation on ISET to this level. I think starting from initial conversations in 2021 to the President Prime Minister joint statement, your meeting in January, it has now really become the organizing framework for cooperation between India and the US. So we've certainly come a long way. Now, based on my experience, earlier work, and some work related also to potential for cooperation in ISET, I just wanted to submit for your consideration 4 or 5 thoughts. One, I urge continued high-level attention to this area, because so that it moves from the initial initiative, initial exploration, to a habit of cooperation. In the past, some initiatives have floundered when high-level attention has not been there. And now with both the countries going into an election cycle, that becomes very, very important. Second, I would urge bringing to the table some funding mechanism. We've had experience of joint funds. There is the Partnership for Clean Energy Research, Partnership for Clean Energy Development, the Nehru Fulbright Scholarship, the India-US Science and Technology Endowment Fund, where there has been a joint fund for bidding jointly by a US and Indian entity for funding on that. So if something similar could be done for ISET, that may be one way of incentivizing cooperation. Third, I think there's been a lot of talk already in the various groups about principles of cooperation, what are some of the ideas where cooperation could take place. But if you could consider tasking them now to develop a specific plan of work, so that there are specific areas of cooperation that they could look at. From the various conversations, it's also clear that in all the areas, there's tremendous shortage of human capital and talent. And so, if some discussion could be held where US and India could come together for joint development of talent, and finally, there is a lot of effort certainly to deal with the regulatory issues, but that's an area where high-level attention will continue to be needed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ambassador. Thank you very much for those opening comments. Now I'll actually turn to Mr. Tim Archer from Lam Research, again on semiconductors. Your comments very quickly, please. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, and good evening. It's an honor to be here. Lam Research, we're a world-leading provider of semiconductor manufacturing equipment. And for many years, our technology really has been at the heart of building semiconductor ecosystems around the world. We're especially proud of our 20-year relationship here in India, and we just recently opened a new Center for Engineering in Bengaluru just last year. You're going to hear a lot about skilled workforce development, and I think that we're in an inflection point for our industry. We expect the semiconductor revenue globally to grow by almost 2x from now through the end of this decade, creating tremendous demand for chips. And one of the critical requirements for us to achieve this is that skilled workforce in nanofabrication technologies. It's simply impractical and actually quite unaffordable, however, to build that workforce at the scale and speed we need by building physical labs and infrastructure in each region around the world where we want to build this resilient semiconductor supply chain. And so we believe that there is a need right now for a paradigm shift in how semiconductor technologists are being trained. And at Lam, we've begun work on this particular challenge. We've envisioned what we call a semiverse solutions-based approach to this education. And we think this has the opportunity to help develop technologists at significantly greater speed and significantly lower cost. This approach is really designed to effectively accelerate semiconductor ecosystem development in regions around the world. We're partnering right now with a leading university in India to roll out this approach starting in the second half of this year, and we stand ready to work with the government of India to fully scale up this program once successful. We see the potential for this type of approach to actually educate more than 6,000 engineers per year to help meet the needs here in India. And so we really applaud the efforts that we're seeing here tonight and want to thank you for making and allowing LAM to be part of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Yours has been a story of extraordinary pace of innovation in the semiconductor industry. I'll stay on with semiconductors and turn to Micron and to Mr. Gursharan Singh.
I'm grateful for this wonderful opportunity to represent Micron today. Micron is one of the world's largest semiconductors manufacturer. We understand that tremendous efforts are made by MITI and ISM being the single point of contact to attract semiconductors investment in India. However, there is still much to be done, and I want to emphasize the following 3 high-level opportunities from my global manufacturing point of view. Number 1, the most important, as the saying goes, it takes village to raise a child. Similarly, it will take a fully equipped ecosystem cluster to enable semiconductors manufacturing, where multiple companies can coexist and thrive by leveraging shared resources, talent, vendors, supply chain, labs, and other essential components of the ecosystem. Number 2, the tax regime in India must align with global OSAT and manufacturing practices to ignite a transformative business environment for the semiconductor industry. And third, the unexpected surprises must be avoided that can undermine investor confidence. It's highlighted by the industry that surprises such as recent Section 65A in the finance bill, which will require tax payments before goods can be brought into the country, into the bonded warehouses. Such surprises hinder the development of the semiconductors industry. The cloud of uncertainty must be cleared, and clarity is awaited to have exemptions for the semiconductors. So in closing, to enable a resilient semiconductors supply chain and to make extraordinary things happen, it is a must to have a solid ecosystem cluster supported by all government agencies collaboratively. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll now turn to someone who started as a startup and today become one of the very, very well-known companies on materials. And Dr. Raja, yourself, you have actually done a lot of work in the field of metal deposition. Dr. Raja is the president of the Semiconductor Product Group of the Applied Materials.
Thank you. So Applied Materials has been operating here for more than 20 years. And during the time, we have grown every year, both in size and scope. And today, we have more than 7,500 people working across 6 different sites. And we also have many collaborations with multiple academic institutes. So we have built an extensive set of science and engineering capabilities for innovations and product commercialization for semiconductor equipment in India. Last year during Semicon India, we also announced substantial investment towards setting up a new development center, and we are executing on it. So today, we have a vision of how we can build on our success in India and create an opportunity for India to play even more important role in rapidly growing global semiconductor ecosystem. Our vision is to bring together our strong base of engineering talent, our leading global and domestic suppliers, and top Indian universities in one location with a common goal of accelerating innovation and commercialization of new technologies for semiconductor equipments. And here, the best of global talent will connect their capabilities, work together real time under one roof, and solve the biggest challenges ahead of us. We believe that this new collaboration model could serve as a catalyst for training and development of future semiconductor talent, leading to many new jobs in engineering and manufacturing as companies build local operations. Applied is a strong partner in ISET's vision to build semiconductor supply chain and manufacturing capabilities. We really look forward to have a great partnership between India and United States, and we want to be a big part of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll now turn to the Tatas who are pretty much in this field on telecommunication. Standards Development Society Chairman, Mr. N.G. Subramaniam.
Thank you. Good evening to all of you. I represent the Tata Group and I'm also the chair of the Telecom Standards Development. We hire a lot of talent in the North America and in the United States. In one of the recent talent hiring, they expressed that, look, I will join your group, but I want to work in India. So that sets the stage for ISET. I believe I'm extremely positive about it. Secondly, as a group, we are quite diversified into the emerging technologies like EV, batteries, semiconductor, telecom equipment manufacturing, and precision electronic manufacturing, and so on and so on. We have some great partnerships going with US corporations like Boeing, Lockheed Martin, where we are manufacturing some of the aerospace structures. But what I want to call out is our partnership with Airbus, where really, we are manufacturing the C-295 end-to-end localized manufacturing for the military aircraft. So there's a great potential for us to build on the cooperation that we have with the US corporations and build a great aerospace and manufacturing industry in India. From a telecom perspective, I think, the industry under the aegis of the Government of India, we have formed a group called Bharat 6G Alliance. And there are some discussions going on with the Next G Alliance. Clearly, their focus is on really looking at how do we build intelligent, programmable, next generation radios, modems, processors, AI chips that are required. And I'm quite excited that such a partnership will benefit both our countries. And the initial discussions have revealed there's a great commonality of purpose between these two organizations in these two countries. There's a greater alignment that we are looking at for the various working groups and expert committees between the Bharat 6G Alliance and the Next G Alliance. I look forward to progressing these conversations further. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And now next move to Mr. Jitendra Chadha from the Global Foundries. Jitendra?
Hello. Good evening, everyone, and it's a pleasure to be part of this gathering. I head Global Foundries in India. Global Foundries is a leading semiconductor manufacturing company with truly a global presence or global footprint with our factories in US, Europe, and in Singapore. Also, we are growing very fast in India, and we are the largest pure play foundry player in the country today. Three things I would talk to, which come to my mind right now. I think talent, people have spoken about. I think between the two countries, we need to have a very seamless talent development corridor and talent movement corridor that we need to develop around all the emerging and the critical technologies that we are talking about. And I'm not restricting this just to the semiconductor space, not only to design or manufacturing of semiconductors or packaging, but it can be for some of the other sessions that we today talked about. So first one is the creating that corridor where the seamless development of skills and the movement can happen. The second is how do we develop or use India's capability that the supply chain for the manufacturing in the semiconductor can be used. This is all about the materials, the chemicals, the gases that we have available, but not at the grade that the semiconductor industry in US requires. So this is something we need to develop, and I think the collaboration between US and India is very, very important. It won't happen just by companies. I think the governments have to play the role. And the last one I would say, I think India has an ambition for a semiconductor manufacturing country to become a semiconductor manufacturing country. And the companies like Global Foundries and the countries like US can help provide the technology partnership for that vision to realize in the future. So those would be the three things I would suggest we look about. And all of them will provide the competitiveness, the strategic advantage, and also de-risking it from the country we know that we are talking about. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Chadda. Now, on the telecom side, Geo Platforms Limited, Mr. Kiran Thomas.
Thank you and good evening. I represent Reliance Industries, one of India's largest private sector companies. And through our history, we have had a proven track record of using cutting-edge technologies for the benefit of over 1 billion common Indians. And we are on a daily basis energized by the opportunities to solve some of humanity's largest problems here in India. And not just that, but to offer those to the benefit of a global market. So today, I want to talk about next-gen telecom, which is an area where we see ourselves significantly capable of contributing to the US-India technology partnership. You may know that Reliance Jio operates one of the world's largest and most advanced mobile networks here in India. And as we speak, our network today supports over 440 million subscribers, of which nearly 50 million are 5G subscribers, and this number is growing on a daily basis. In our 5G deployment, for a change, we have used our own indigenously developed 5G core and Open RAN radio solutions. And this made in India 5G core, which is designed to be cloud ready and AI ready from day one, is already commercially deployed at what we call India scale, serving hundreds of millions of users. So this is not a laboratory or a trial technology, but a proven one, working seamlessly with our own radio solutions, the Open RAN solutions, and also multiple other vendors' RAN solutions in one of the largest global networks. So with a track record of successful deployment and demonstrated performance in India, we are now excited to collaborate with US operators and other industry partners to conduct trials and to deliver our solutions to the United States. We are keen to demonstrate the reliability, security, and scalability of our 5G and Open RAN solutions, while also highlighting their flexibility, interoperability, and most importantly, cost effectiveness. So we stand ready to contribute our expertise, our resources, and our innovation capacity to strengthen the US-India technology partnership, and we look forward to many fruitful discussions and collaborations in the very near future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kiran. I'll stay with telecom and go to Airtel and Randeep second. Yeah.
Good evening. I'm Randeep. I'm CTO for Airtel here. And first of all, I want to say that yes, India is very proud on 4G because we have connected millions and hundreds of millions. And 4G has not just become a, you can say, connectivity technology, or become an inclusion technology, because it is affordable, is available to every Indian, and it has triggered health use cases, education use cases, entertainment use cases. But now we are in the cusp of where 5G can become again a technology, and with Kiran saying that we have now that 5G technology going on to main part of the urban India, but really speaking, it should reach every person in rural India as well. And what better way to pivot if we can go to a technology like ORAN, which can then create a partnership ecosystem which will have Indian and US ecosystem players, which will then bring an affordable way of launching 5G to all the rural masses as well in a much earlier use case, and also make it open for industrial use cases, because the previous technologies has been closed and you really cannot use it in a, you can say, network as a platform basis. You will use it more like a closed this thing. And the ecosystem play in way we have consumed this technology has been limited, but we can really open it up. So we believe that this is the way where we can actually bring ORAN technology between India and US players and make it masses. And not just start with 5G, because 5G is now a technology which is being used. Can we pivot to bring 6G use cases and do this NG and the Bharat 6G net together and create technologies which is really now built on a common use cases rather than we adopting a standard and then trying to scale it. So I think this is a great opportunity for both the countries to come together and create an ecosystem of a mass technology. So that is where we really welcome this joint cooperation which we are doing on ORAN. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'll now turn to the CEO and Chairman of the CDOT, the Center for Development for Telematics, R.K. Upadhyay, Dr. Upadhyay.
Good evening, everyone. So I would like to first report a good news that India Telecom Stack, which we had developed 4G, 5G, is getting rolled out in BSNL